Okay, this right here is Bella, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach her how to give the pressure. I'm going to make believe this is a foal that doesn't know how to lead, doesn't know anything about pressure and release or anything. So what I'm going to do, if this is a foal, I put a butt rope on it. I want to teach her how to lead. And I would probably have the butt rope a little smaller than this in diameter, so it has a little bit more biting effect, but not that much. You could do the same thing with a lunge whip or something, so you can keep it behind you and tap them in the butt. But this works pretty good, so I would put the halter on her and I would ask her to lead. And if she didn't want to go forward, I just give a little pull on the butt rope. Release it as soon as she starts working, walking forward. There's no pressure on that butt rope right now. If she stops, stop. Walk. If she doesn't walk, you give her a little pressure on the butt rope. Release it. Okay, that's from a foal. That's right way you do this with any horse. I don't care if it doesn't know how to lead. That's one way of doing it. Pressure and release. Same thing. Teach them pressure and release. Your hand on the head or something like this. You can do. There's all kinds of ways you can get them to at least get the idea of what pressure and release is all about. And like just pressure. She's putting pressure on my hand. As soon as she. This is just for the beginners here. I know everybody that trained horses before knows all this, but this is for the beginners. We're all beginners at some point in time. A little pressure, release. Pressure, release. Good girl. Okay. Same thing. Make it a fly. Look at the size of her neck. For her, neck can flex all the way back on both sides, no problem. Good girl. So she gave to the pressure and I released the pressure. Same thing we're going, you want to go sideways. You want to get them out of your space? Same thing, pressure and release. If you continue to put the pressure on, they're going to fight against the pressure and they're not learning anything. The learning part of it is the release of the pressure. You're doing too good. I wanted you to fight me a little bit. But you're not. Okay. Now, once you have the horse that's pretty well trained to pressure release, knows what pressure and release is all about, then you can take and tie him to a post. Okay, there's a couple ways of doing this. I like to have an unbreakable everything. I don't want anything to break on me because if they break it, they're going to learn something. So this is a shipping halter. I mean, they are really strong, real strong. So that's what I use. The lead rope that I put on is not going to have any snaps or anything in it because if you put the snaps in it, the first thing it's going to break is the snap. So this is the kind of the setup I use. If I have a horse that I really think is going to pull back and put too much pressure on its head where he could slip the halter off or hurt himself, I'll take a rope and I'll put it right around the withers here. Okay, and then I'll tie this off like that. Okay. Then I would tie this back onto here, like that. So if she's pulling all she wants, she's not going to pull this. Oh, of course, everything's got to be soft so it doesn't cut into the horse. All right. So I'd have this thing tied off at here. She's not going to get hurt that way. She could fall down, but any horse can fall down at any time, no matter what you're doing with them. But I'll guarantee you one thing: if she falls down, if she pulls on this a few times like that, and the object that you're tying it to is unbreakable. unbreakable, she'll learn something real quick. So that's how I do it. The other way of doing it is, I'd have to get a close-up of this so you can see what I'm doing. Whoa. All right. Do not knock my camera over. Now, if I was going to tie up a horse that I thought would really pull back hard, this is pretty solid, I'll tell you, but it's not as solid as I want. I'd want a tree with roots on it. Okay, so I just take, and I would put what I want is a knot, a hitching knot, which would be this. Okay, that way if she starts getting into real trouble, I could just pull on this and it's gone. All right. The other way, they have these little, I don't know what they are, some kind of gizmachis now, things that you attach to whatever a solid base is, put them on, and they loop through like that, and they'll create friction. Well, friction. You can do the same thing with this. Let's just say, if I really thought she was going to go back far, I'd add a rope to this, but the more loops you have in it like that, the more friction is going to be on the rope. So if you really want a lot of friction, you could put 3 on there, as long as they're not overlapped. This is how we used to let, you know, things down up in trees, is by wrapping around the tree itself. That's not too much. It puts a little more friction than just holding onto the rope. This right here will probably double that. She could pull back all you want. You could hold on to this end of the rope and you could let it loose as you'd like. You could put 2 wraps around. You could put 3 or 4. We used to lower down with inch bull rope, you know, ton pieces of wood down this way, with one person hold on to it like this. Because it would go up through the limb around like that and be wrapped around the bottom of the tree. Anybody that's done tree work knows exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, so that's what you could do. To me, I don't like them pulling back on anything. To me, all it does is if she's sliding through on this, then it's teaching her that all she's got to do is pull back.